Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I just want to talk about the fact that Star Trek Discovery has now ended. 5 seasons. Um, yeah. And I, for one, am not going to miss the show. I am a big Star Trek fan. I am a Trekkie. I love Star Trek. But this show hasn't really been Star Trek for the most part. 65 episodes, 5 seasons, started out in 2017, but we've had gaps in between, including last year. So there is going to be, um, much debate about the final story, the way the series ended. It gave kind of like everyone mainly give Burnham you get to see what happens to her after the end of the season proper. So yeah, so let me fill you up on what's it. So this season has been about a race to find the technology left behind by this ancient race called the Federation is actually calling, or the Starfleet is calling, the progenitors. So they were the ones who seeded life um, in our galaxy, all humanoid life basically. They were, so they knew that they wouldn't be around forever. So before they all passed away, all died, millions of years ago, they seeded several planets throughout the galaxy with their own DNA, mixed with elements in those planets. They would each happen to have different characteristics. Those people, those beings would have something common, which is they're all from the progenitors, but they would have different, they would be different species basically. So like you have the Klingons, the Romulans, the Vulcans, I should say Romulans and Vulcans are the same, the Trill, everyone, humans, all of us are part of the progenitors. So the race, and then they have to beat off Mole and Locke, the people who the kind of like outlaws who are trying to get the device and the technology for themselves. But then, Space Jesus, Sonika Martin Green, who is Michael Burnham, of course, and the worst captain, the worst lead of Star Trek, the worst lead in several TV shows that I've watched. She's the worst, absolute worst. The tilting of the head, the crying, the whispering, the absolute useless Tilly, the Adira, useless. The worst characters ever. The bridge crew is basically. I'm surprised they actually got a few lines in this episode, but there were a couple of them missing, so I guess it kind of like evened things up a bit. A lot of things are bad about this particular show. So yeah, at the final they get the Burnham, of course, the only one who's fit in this entire universe to actually go and meet with the consciousness of one of the progenitors, who is basically keeping watch over the technology. She tells her that I can show you how to use it. You will be the keeper of this particular technology. It can create life, but it cannot bring back life, and that's basically Locke, which Maul was actually hoping that it could bring back her beloved boyfriend. Burnham decides that it's too much for one race, one civilization to have. She decides to release it into one of the portals into the black hole, so it'll go off somewhere. But without destroying it, I don't know if somebody else might actually take it. So it actually finds out that the progenitors didn't create this technology. They did seed life, but they didn't create the technology. So obviously there's another race way more older than them, so several million years, even before possibly they came about, and maybe they were created by this race. So yeah, so aliens created us basically, yeah, which I can actually understand. So yeah, you get to see Burnham finally. Like it's the focus is completely her. She marries the guy, the another. To be honest, I cannot stand that actor. At least I can. I liked Sonika Martin Green in the The Walking Dead. I don't like her character here. Uh, the absolute, you know, shit acting by Cleveland Booker, David Ajala. It was crap um, in what's that series? Yeah, in Supergirl, and he was crap over here. He's absolute crap over here. Uh, I don't really like most of the. Well, it isn't fair of me to say the actors. It's the writing is really bad, but it makes the acting even worse. So I do like Sonika Martin Green, but because now I kind of come to associate her as Michael Burnham, I can't see her as anything else at the moment. She is terrible as Michael Burnham. Michael Burnham whispers, the pain. This is how she talks, and she tilts her head. At least somebody said, like, speak up. Doug Jones, of course, is amazing. The new addition, Callum Keith Rennie, amazing actor, amazing presence whenever he's shown on screen as Rayner. Welcome to Star Trek. I used to like Anthony Rapp as Paul Stamets, but even he's been some of the acting over there. Is like Wilson Cruz as well. Oh, I can't stand him. Cannot stand him. I liked him in the beginning. Can't stand him anymore. Lou Del Barrios, Adira Tal. Less said the better. And definitely David Ajala, my least favorite main character in all of Star Trek. Male, him. Female is, I can't decide between Sonika Martin Green's character as Michael Burnham or Mary Wiseman and Sylvia Tilly. I hate, absolutely hate the character and the actress. Put the actress in as well. Can't stand them both. That gives me only Doug Jones as a main character and Callum Keith Rennie, who's only in this season, as the two people that I actually like. The recurring characters, the actors are good, Odin Farrer, but yeah, even everybody seems to be in awe of Michael Burnham because she's Space Jesus. David Cronenberg is amazing as Kovich, and you find out that he's actually Agent Daniels, who we saw in Star Trek Enterprise. This show loves Enterprise. At least that's something about her. Eve Harlow was good. I think she was actually better when you had Elias I don't know how to pronounce this. Elias Tofixis as Locke. They both were together pretty good. But yeah, you get the return of Nan, played by Rachel Lanchero. You go get the end of Ian Alexander, the worst actor, the absolute worst actor. Yes, actor. Okay, great, all useless. Yeah, so you get to see Saru, who's actually getting married to Trina. That's actually good to see. Okay. And yeah. So finally, in the end, she marries. Michael marries her boyfriend, Luke. To be honest, Star Trek Discovery is getting to. I mean, and I'm going to say this: there's a difference between African American and African British African, I should say, African Canadian African, right? African Canadian, what you would call it, and the African diaspora in the Caribbean and other places. It's different. Right? It kind of seems to be, even though the character, even though the actor, and it seems like the character, David Ajala is British, and his character is got a British accent in the movie, although he's not supposed to be from Earth. It almost seems like to me that they wanted to make a black Star Trek, and I say very specifically a black American Star Trek. Even the progenitor is a black American. I don't know who she's played by, but yeah. And yeah, her mother was also a terrible actress. I don't know who she is. And there have been excellent actors, African American and African British actors throughout the television series that I've watched, but not this show. This show is terrible. You know, at the very beginning, if they had killed off Michael Burnham, they killed off Tilly, they killed off. They actually killed off Wilson Cruz character Hugh Calber, but then they brought him back, and they killed. They never brought in David Ajala, so it would have been a much better show. Like look at Star Trek: Strange New Worlds, absolutely way better of a series because they don't have it's a even though it's called Discovery, it's basically Star Trek Burnham. Yeah, right. And I'm wondering, like all the actors of before, like if you want to say, is that racist? Some of my favorite actors in Star Trek have been black. Talking about Cisco. Even I like Cisco's son. I like the father character. Like, Cisco's dad. They were all great. Nichelle Nichols. What the fuck are you talking about? Michael Burnham cannot hold a candle to the greatness that was Nichelle Nichols. Uhura. Come on. Get better writers. Stop this Kurtzman trick. We want proper Star Trek. Strange New Worlds is proper Star Trek. And even it's got its problems, but it's still way more enjoyable. Bridge Crew, who we barely knew. Goodbye to you. Goodbye to the great Saru. Excellent Doug Jones. Goodbye to Reyna. Excellent Callum Keith Rennie. Bye to the rest of you. Hope, but yeah, there's going to be Section 31. I don't think any of these actors, these characters will be appearing in that movie. I don't think, but there will be some of them appearing in Star Trek Academy. I hope that series dies an early death and we get more of shows that we actually want. We don't want Star Trek Academy with Tilly in it, please. Please, 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 please. Just kill Tilly. Killing Tilly. Alright, that's my rant for the show. I'll also admit about one thing. When the season started, I loved the first two episodes. The first two episodes were really good. It went downhill after that. Star Trek Michael Burnham. Star Trek Weepy. Star Trek Whispering. Star Trek Tilted Head. Yeah, that's my rant. Absolute rant for Star Trek Discovery Season 5. It did start well. I really liked the first two episodes. But even the third one was okay compared to the rest of it. There were some good episodes in this series. I'm thinking about episode number 5, Mirrors, was actually kind of good. So yeah. Discovery says bye-bye, and I say bye-bye to the worst pile of garbage that actually has the name Star Trek on it, unfortunately. If it had been any other show, I wouldn't have cared. I would have stopped watching. It didn't have the name Star Trek in it. Yeah. That's my rant. It's my least favorite Star Trek. That's all I'm saying. Have a good night.